Globally, 15 million girls every year are married before the age of 18. That's according to a new study from the World Bank and the International Center for Research on Women. Our U.S. correspondent Kevin McAleese sat down with the co-director of the study.
The largest impact of child marriage is on fertility and on population growth. And then what we did is estimate how much would the welfare, the well-being of the populations of different countries be if we were able to end child marriage and thereby reduce population growth. And that's where the biggest cost estimate came from, or the biggest benefit, if you will. So if you take, for example, the country with the highest prevalence of child marriage in the world, which is Niger, it has a population growth rate of about 3.9% per year, right? If we were ending child marriage and early childbirth, which is having a child before 18, you would reduce that population growth rate by about a tenth. So you go from 3.9% to 3.5%, right? And then that would automatically increase GDP per capita and the welfare of the population, at least for a very long time. And so we did those estimations until 2030, which is the target date for the Sustainable Development Goals.
So those are the economic, those are the social factors in this study, but it also touches on the individual, because this 700 million figure that you put on the number of girls currently married, or women who were married under 18 living today, they are just that, they are individuals.
On average, for all the women who marry before the age of 18, you would have an earning loss of about 9%. That's an average. So some women will not have any earning loss. Some women will have an earning loss of 40 or 50% versus what they would have made in adulthood, depending on how child marriage affects their educational attainment, practically depending on whether they would have been able, without the marriage, to complete their secondary education. So these are very large personal costs, if you will. If you lose 40–50% of your earnings because you have a lower level of education and you don't benefit from the returns to secondary education, that's very large.
If you are able to bring a stop, an end to child marriage tomorrow in these developing nations, how long would it take to see the benefits of that across the wider society? So
some benefits, you would see them right away. Some benefits would take time to build, right? So for example, the earnings potential of women, if they don't marry and they finish high school a few years later, they might go to the job market, if you will, and they will have higher earnings, right? If you don't have a child being born of a very young mother, and I should have mentioned that most of what we call early childbirth, which is being born of a mother younger than 18, is actually due to child marriage, right? About more than 4 in 5 children who are born of a mother younger than 18, it's because the mother married as a child, right? So if you stop that right away, you're going to save lives, and you're going to avoid stunting or reduce the risk of stunting for those children.
And now that you've got the results of this in-depth, wide-ranging study, what are your hopes? Ultimately, what do you hope the research will achieve?
The hope is that people will realize that this is not only a social issue, it's also an economic issue. And then you often have a trade-off in countries. You have so many demands, so many things that have to be done, and sometimes the economic argument can carry the weight in terms of saying the economic benefits that you are going to get from this, apart from the fact that it's the right thing to do, it's also a smart thing to do economically, and the returns that you're going to get for a country and for the individuals offending the practice are going to be very high.